Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 16th of October 2020. Welcome to the video number 294. Today I want to talk about strategic clarity, something that I just kind of coined to summarize situation when something goes wrong or something unexpected happens. And there's no really darkness like, emotional one. Although there's shock and there's this kind of situation that you don't really know what to do, and many of us freeze in this moment. And I want to kind of share with you three basic truths and wisdom how you might want to approach this kind of situation in your life to make this thing a completely reversal to what you can expect, or especially how you feel at the beginning of this whole massacre. So listen, the situation when something goes wrong or something goes against your plan, and there's no really like a huge emotional problem that we talked about in video about courage, but you're just shocked. It's like something went completely the other way around, or the other way that you expected it to go, and you may just like, what just happened? You know that your plans will have to completely change because it's like everything is just completely upside down. And you see, so many of us kind of freeze in that moment, especially when we are kind of this shock value is so high. When you kind of surprised by what happened. So many of us are completely not prepared. Maybe not even from emotional standpoint, but maybe from this kind of shock. The shock kind of surprised us to the point that we kind of freeze. And interestingly enough, if you're frozen, your wife, your kids, and everybody who is kind of under your care, they'll see it as well. And the longer it takes you to get yourself together, the worse for you. So, listen, the first truth that it's very, I would say, important, no matter what happens in your life, to kind of understand, to help yourself go through difficult or surprising times, is the truth that you can't, or you shouldn't spend time on something that you cannot change. Because many times when you get to this point, you just say, but my plans were so great, and then you start thinking, what would happen if I would do something differently? What would happen if my plan would go through? That would be so awesome. But you don't really know what's going to be the result of you being able to overcome what happened. And you're dreaming about things that will never happen, and you kind of think about what happened and what you could do, but you didn't. And then it brings you nothing than just thinking about things that you cannot change. And so many wise people say, don't waste your time on things that you cannot change. That's why I'm calling this kind of process the strategic clarity, because the first thing that you need to know, the clarity or the wisdom will tell you to not waste time on the things that you cannot change and they just happened. Because then it will help you to think, okay, I cannot change it, let's look into the future, or present, what should I do about it? And then you kind of put aside the emotions, you put aside the frustration, you put aside this freeze that you may be just because you were surprised. And it will kind of free you. You will say, okay, take a deep breath. What are you going to do about it? Solution-oriented mindset. Second thing that is so important to do is, in that exact moment, really, really go deep and answer yourself a question. What do I really want? Because when the circumstances change, it just changes the way you might want to get to your goal, but it doesn't have to change the goal itself. So it's kind of crucial in this moment to kind of understand, if this whole thing changed, does my goal change as well? Because if it didn't, it's just You just need to find a workaround, how to overcome the obstacle and just go towards your goal. But many times in this situation, you'll be kind of pushed toward going deep and understanding not only what do you want to accomplish, but then why. And this is the moment of amazing clarity. If you'll be able to really go deep in that moment, this whole circumstance may help you to get much deeper clarity on what you want. And if you've got deeper clarity on what you want and why do you want it, then the way to get there becomes much more clear, much more obvious. Just because you understood something deeper about this whole thing. So first of all, it's about knowing that it's wasting time of waste. It's a waste of time when you waste time on things that you cannot change. Second, really going deep in understanding what do I really want, why do I want it, will make this whole thing much easier to go through and much easier to find a way to reach for it. And then point number 3, when everything gets clear, amazing thing happens that it's so much easier to reach for your goal. Because then what are the things that I just don't care. Just leave me alone. This is my goal. This is what I'm going to reach for. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Just go away. This kind of mindset, which is result of you getting clarity, gives you possibility to see that not only the whole plan that you had was one of many that you can use, or one of many paths that you can take to reach your goal, but also show you that the more you know, the more you understand where you want to go and why, it will show that there's much more of those ways, and it's gonna be clear for you. If I'm not gonna be able to do that way, I'm gonna do it that way. And importantly enough, you're going to put this whole 3 things together. Not only it'll put you in a better mood, you'll say, I got this. Second, it will put you in a completely different position as a leader, because they will say, okay, this thing happened, how he's going to react. And you just sit down, you think for a moment and say, okay, we're going to do this and this and that. Bam, we're going forward. And that puts you in a completely different position as a guy, as a leader, as a father, as a husband. And that's really, really important for you to have. Because that whole thing become a problem in the moment of time when it just happened. But you can use it to your advantage and to even raise your position and raise your own feeling about this thing, because you got much better clarity. What do you want to accomplish? And then by your prompt actions and your courage to go forward, other people who are there with you, they'll see that this guy knows what he's doing. You see, this is what I want you to take from this video. Situations that from start or at the beginning look scary and look tough because they change what you already had planned, and it just flips everything upside down, and it forces you to kind of change this whole thing and rethink it maybe. But what you might be surprised is the result of that might be much bigger clarity, much stronger conviction that this is exactly what I want to do, and because I understand now even more why. And it can put you in a position of much bigger, like a win, much bigger success at the end, because it's not going to be success only for you, but also for those who are with you. So this is why I want you to understand to not spend time on things that you cannot change. Being capable of going down and really understand what is my goal and why do I really want to get there. And 3, being really capable of learning this whole thing to see much easier way to get there and overcome whatever happened. Because that might be the best thing that happened to you. Just because now you know where you're going, and now you've got a really strong conviction that you want to get there and you know how to get there. So think about it and do something about it. Because you might be surprised how strong and how smart you can be when life puts you against the wall. If you liked this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think. Tell me what's your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, give me a shout and I'll be really glad to do it for you. That being said, see you tomorrow.